The Ombudsman investigates complaints of maladministration by public service providers such as government departments, agencies and authorities. Although he's been in position for nearly 2 years, Ron Coram has maintained a relatively low profile.
I have a very, very good team here that, when people actually come into the office, they receive them. We look at the extent of their complaints, whether we can actually sort of assist them in any way whatsoever. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a chartered engineer, so I look at things, complaints in a slightly different way, perhaps more open way than others in the past. I don't know. That's for the general public to decide. But the role is very, very important. It's an autonomous role, something which I enjoy, and I try to do that to the best of my ability.
The recently published 2021 report strongly criticised an ongoing trend of poor response times to public complaints, something the Ombudsman says should have been dealt with long ago.
Most of the complaints that we deal with on an annual basis actually are in connection with delays in action by government departments, and it's normally up to about 30% of complaints. And I feel, well, why hasn't this been nipped in the bud? This has been going back from the times of Henry Pinna, which is 20 odd years ago, where Henry actually sort of raised this matter. So why is it that we're not nipping this in the bud? Why is it that we still have these problems of delays? And it could be that that there are not enough people actually allocated to engaging with the public sector. Rather, there are less people at the bottom of the hierarchy and more in the management. And I'm saying to myself, well, there should be more at the coalface, so to speak, dealing with the public, and less in management.
In line with the Venice principles for Ombudsman, Ron Coram says he doesn't believe the Chief Minister should have the power to exclude any material from the report, although he admits this has never actually happened, and he stressed his office should always have complete autonomy when carrying out its work.
Yeah, I think there should be total separation. And why is it that the Ombudsman should actually present the annual report to the Chief Minister? Really, he or she should be able to present that to the Parliament, maybe perhaps through the Speaker of Parliament. That, I think, sort of just effectively cements that autonomy and that separation, I think, between the office of the Ombudsman and the government as such.
Despite his low profile, the Ombudsman did spark some controversy last year when he announced he wasn't in the habit of seeing pressure groups, after being pressed by Action for Housing on a specific allocation. However, I put it to him that this position is at odds with his report, which states NGOs do have the right to file complaints.
I think it's up to the discretion of the Ombudsman, really. Remember what I said initially, the 25 principles, Venice principles, are not set in stone, they're guidelines. Yeah? Now, when I feel that a case has been properly sort of undertaken, and I'm satisfied with that, I'm satisfied with it. That is not to say, however, that I will not consider complaints from NGOs, I will.
So if Action for Housing were to write you again, raising another issue of concern, would you be willing to speak to?
Yes, of course. No, I think the criticism was untoward. It was unfair, I think. Obviously, he hasn't been involved in the sense of this side of the office. We actually investigated the matter, and we were very content and happy with the way it was conducted. I have no further comment to make on that.
The news that Ron Coram is open to meeting with NGOs appears to be a change of heart, but it's one that will no doubt be welcomed. Work is ongoing on the 2022 report.